What's your name and what's your game?
Name's Chris Hoefgen, and our game is currently called Mercnet. It's a game about sort of a real-time strategy game where you manage a squad going through a semi-post-apocalyptic world as you're sort of working as a mercenary group to complete tasks for all these mega corporations.
So before the interview, we were talking about the name of the game, and It seems like it was a different name 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
What's the name decision-making process been like?
It's been interesting. We kind of had a working title for a long time, like Rules of Engagement, but it's one of those ones. It's the working title that everyone hates, and we just hold on to it until it's time to pick another name. And now for us, looking at what we can call the game, you're sort of looking at other games in the space. You're trying to find a name that evokes the narrative, but also tells people what the game is, but is also short, so it's marketable. And it's been challenging. We have a Slack channel just for name suggestions, and you get one or two good ones, and then it degenerates quickly into just people making stupid suggestions or discussions, and then you try to wind it back. So. We've been looking around in the story, and our narrative designer kind of picks things out, and we try to look back at the missions in the game and see, does any of these things does the name match where it's going? But it's been a challenge. So we're kind of living with Mercnet right now, but even that we're not 100% on.
Okay, and what are some of the other names that have been brushed off the cutting board of game development?
I'm trying to think. Most of them have been all the very super generic names, things like Global Offensive, or what was some others, like Mercenary Warriors, or it was just how many adjectives and nouns can you smash together about mercenaries or combat or.
Do you try and procedurally generate any of it?
No, we do it for some of the content in the game,
but not for the name itself.
Not for the name itself.
Take a bunch of military names and.
It's actually an interesting idea. I have built the generator for all the mission names and stuff like that, based on a whole bunch of military operations and offensives. But yeah, you get a lot of weird combos like that. I think the best one I've seen so far is Congested Angel. Operation Congested Angel.
Operation Congested Angel.
Which is also would be a terrible game name.
Do you care about your acronym at all? Or not? Yeah.
Not at the point. I think acronym's awesome if it just happens. There's nothing worse than starting with an acronym and forcing something into it. And then no one really gets it or it just looks dumb. So it'd be really cool if we get one, but especially with.
But you're going to get one regardless on your forums.
Of course. Yeah, totally. That's why Mercnet's kind of nice because it's only 7 characters long and it's one fake word that no one else uses. Does that evoke what the game's about? I'm not sure yet. So
we'll find out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We got a couple more months to sort this crap out and then make a go of it.
So what platform are you aiming for?
So we're aiming for Steam Early Access in January, and then probably go to console in the spring, likely Xbox and then PlayStation.
What are the things that you're trying to finish up that make it early access complete? What are you trying to get done for early access?
Right now, we're pretty much feature complete. So we got 2 months of polish. The visuals need a lot of work, all the lighting. We're doing second, third, fourth passes on. And then all the game balancing and then level building. Our game designers are just cranking out, trying to get levels done, narrative elements, getting the story to flow, and make sure that with early access it's a complete narrative chunk. It's not the finished game, but you can play through and get a feel for where the world's going, teach all the mechanics that we've got in the game and that kind of stuff. And then we're trying to push to get co-op multiplayer in for the early access instead of just having fast follow. But the goal is to try to get that co-op multiplayer in as soon as possible. It's close, but need all the UI support for it.
Have you thought about the kind of deployment process or build process for early access? Because you're going to be hitting it and it's on from there on. So have you done any thoughts of
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we have our backlog of stuff, and pretty much what we've done is here's say our feature set is 20 things. We've kind of got all of those 20 things at between 60 and 90% finished. So we're picking a subset of those to get to 100%, polish them up. And then fast follow probably every 2 weeks after early access launch with a patch that finishes another major component. So we have some improvements to the game while we're trying to crank out the content side. So we're going to get really bogged down in the spring just trying to churn out levels and environments to keep this narrative of the game going. The goal is to not just drop it and then 4 months later finish it or like whatever. We want to be really big on constantly talking back to the players who are there and give them something constantly. Something more than just like, hey, we fixed these bugs. We want to do like, okay, we fixed these bugs, but also here's this new thing.
But on like a 2 week plan, rather than
that's the goal.
Big updates.
Yeah.
And then you'll be doing bug fixes in between.
Exactly, right. And then that said, none of us we haven't built a game for Steam and done that platform thing. We've done mostly stuff for Apple, so we're not really sure how the Steam distribution feels as far as pacing, like how much control you have. We're so used to it.
Yeah, you just put it up right now.
That's amazing. We're so used to like, oh, it's 2 week validation process by Apple.
Yeah, no, you are your own validation process.
Oh, that's awesome.
What we did, because we didn't really have QA, we'd have our internal branch that we'd test in.
Yeah.
And then we'd make that into like a coming in hot branch.
Yeah.
Which is nice for like, because you can get into a problem of like fixing.
Yeah.
And then you've got like 12 fixes, you make a build, fix 10 actually is worse.
Yeah.
So then you got to fix that, and this other thing slipped in. So it kind of like you can sometimes get bogged down where then you end up getting these bigger and bigger bug fix patches.
Yeah.
So having the coming in hot branch is nice for like if you want to do something quick and put it out there and just say, hey, can somebody test this? And then they'll test it, and then you can.
That's a good call. That's one thing. I think we're in the same boat because we're about the same size as you guys were when you were like launching out. Because there's only we're like 4 devs and like game designers stuff. So with contractors, we're like 9.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, I was talking about this yesterday about how people always like lie. Not necessarily lie, but they like the number they tell you is always not actually the amount of people.
Yeah.
Like we'll always go like, oh yeah, there's about 6 people working on Darkest Dungeon. It's really actually 7.
Yeah.
And just because it was 6 for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then that's not even counting audio, which is another 5, or the amount of contract writing and art contracting we've done.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing. You have to get that scope of what that number means. Like in the office, we're 9, pretty much, and then there's an audio guy who's contracting, but a lot of our art has to be outsourced just because we can't afford to have an art team in-house. But guys get distributed and stuff. But yeah, no, we're really hopeful to see it done.
And do you have figured out who's going to be taking support emails?
It's probably going to be me or my game producer Jamie. Like we usually take that first hit
and then distribute it accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. Like I still do support emails from our last game, and every once in a while.
It's a different animal on Steam.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. There's going to be a lot of rage, and because we don't have a QA department, we don't have like 60 different pieces of hardware that we can test on. There's going to be a lot of
one
issues.
thing to test on that was like the thing that got us like day one of early access is like you should probably make a German Windows account and then run the game in German.
Interesting.
Because like we had something where we were trying to put a full like folder in the documents folder, and it just like because it was German characters like. We just ran different engines, different
totally
stuff like that. But that was the thing that none of us tested.
That's
was
hilarious.
Foreign characters in your username.
Yes, good call. Yeah, we're looking to localize really quick, but yeah, even just functionally because a lot of countries, especially Germany, will play in English if there's no German option. Yeah, I mean it's a good call. I should probably check on that.
And where's your office located?
We're in Victoria, BC, Canada.
What part of Victoria?
Right downtown.
Like
I can see the water from my window.
Oh, okay.
Harbor.
Yeah.
That kind of downtown. Yeah.
What's the downtown food recommendations in Victoria? 'Cause I've exclusively been eating like my grandmother's cooking or whatever, right? So it's like never really eat out in Victoria because I'd always be visiting family. So.
Like some of the ones I really like. There's a new place called Bao, which I think is actually an offshoot of Vancouver.
Of the Gastown one? Is it Bao Buns?
Yeah, all Bao Buns.
Do they play like 90s Or no, early 2000s hip hop's at a loud.
That and a lot of so like there's some like late '90s R&B stuff like flowing through there. So that place has been pretty awesome. That just opened up, and I'm trying to think something else I eat at all the time. There's the Tacofino, which I love. But that's also
in Gastown.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to a pierogi place last time I was in Victoria.
Salt.
That was weird, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, they have some really amazing different kinds of pierogies.
It's also like hard to buy. Like, there's not a lot of like Eastern European cuisine in BC in restaurant form.
In restaurant form, yeah. Like we have 2 pierogi places in Victoria.
You have to go to like a church community center on like a very specific holiday to get pierogies.
But then you'll pay like $1 and you'll get like this giant bowl of like pierogies covered in butter with a huge like amount of sour cream, and then you just want to die after. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the question bus.
Hey, no problem. It's been awesome.
Is there anything else you want to plug?
No, just our game. Hopefully coming to Steam in 2016.
So you have no social media accounts?
Not at the moment. There is
at all. None of you?
Yeah, I guess there's at C Hoefgen, it would be mine, and then I guess at Tiny Mob Games, which I have not checked in a long time, would be the company one. We've been heads down developing for so long, not even thinking about promotion.
Any Instagram, Snapchat?
No, just those.
Like Vimeo account?
No, sorry. I'm old.